Many thanks, Frank. And now to some more news updates. President Muhammad Buhari has deployed the Minister of State, Petroleum Resources, Temipre Silva, the Group Managing Director of the Nigerian National Petroleum Company, NNPC, Malam Kyari, as well as the Chief of Defense Staff, General Lucky Rabo, to assess the level of oil theft in the Niger Delta. The development followed public outrage against the massive stealing of Nigeria's crude oil, which had hobbled the country's ability to meet the quota allocated by the Organization of Petroleum Exporting Countries, OPEC. The governor of the Central Bank of Nigeria, CBN, Godwin Emefiele, had on Monday lamented the unprecedented rate of oil theft recorded in recent times and its debilitating effect on government revenue and accretion to reserves. The governor's comment came a day after it was reported similar concerns were expressed by the co-founder and former chief executive officer of Seplat Energy PLC, Austin Navuru, who called for a state of emergency in the Nigerian oil and gas sector. He revealed that up to 80% of oil pumped in the country, particularly in the east, is stolen. And the Federal Executive Council, FEC, on Wednesday approved 92 billion naira for the construction of a second runway at the Nnamdi Azikiwe International Airport, Abuja. The approval came barely 24 hours after the inauguration of the new terminal building at the Murtala Muhammad International Airport, MMIA, Lagos. Minister of Humanitarian Affairs, Disaster Management and Social Development, Sadiya Umar Farouk, explained that the money would be used to engage 4 federal government agencies that would be involved in the 9-month training. She said at the end of the training, the beneficiaries would be handed starter packs to begin business. Attorney General of the Federation and Minister of Justice, Abubakar Malami, also said FEC approved the Business, Facilitation and Miscellaneous Provision Bill to consolidate on reforms and enhance productivity and value. He said the bill was part of the government's efforts to sustain legacies achieved through the Presidential Enabling Business Environment Council, PEBEC. And now to other stories. Even in times of COVID-19, tuberculosis remains one of the deadliest infectious diseases in the world. The World Health Organization, WHO, and European Center for Disease Prevention and Control, ECDC, warned on World Tuberculosis Day on Thursday the drop in registered TB cases of 24% between 2019 and 2020 was presumably due to the pandemic affecting the diagnosis and reporting of the disease. They added that it remains the second most deadly infectious disease behind COVID-19. Now, joining me to shed more light on this is Dr. Tui Mebawandu. He is a public health practitioner, and he will be talking to us about this World Tuberculosis Day. Thank you so much for joining us, Dr. Tui.
Yeah, thank you for having me.
Now, today is World Tuberculosis Day. Let's begin by sharing or enlightening the public on what tuberculosis is.
Yes, today is World Tuberculosis Day. It's actually, a day set aside for us to remember when the disease was discovered by Koch, sometime in the 18th century. Now, what is the tuberculosis? It's an infection focusing mainly on the lungs. It's caused by bacteria that then enters the lung system and can affect any organ. Now, about 9 countries that form the big body for tuberculosis, Nigeria is one of them. And actually, Nigeria is number 7 among the countries that form the big body of tuberculosis. Tuberculosis kills as much as more than 200,000 people every year. And then in Nigeria, we have as much as 300,000 unaccounted for tuberculosis cases. At the time, tuberculosis has been a challenge in Nigeria. Funding has been really challenging. We're not getting money to. And then, with the advent of HIV and COVID, tuberculosis has actually been killing more from 2020 up to now than it was in the past. We thought we were winning the war, but now, with shortage of funds, presence of COVID-19, and then diversion of funds to COVID-19, and then the prevalence of HIV/AIDS, we're seeing more of tuberculosis cases, especially the multi-drug resistant strain.
So who is at risk of tuberculosis?
Well, like I said, people with respiratory problems, okay? Do you have asthma? Do you have diabetes? Are you malnourished? A child also at risk. And an old person, extreme of ages, they are at risk. Presence of COVID-19, presence of malnutrition, and presence of HIV. These are clear-cut risks for tuberculosis. Then, if you are living in a place that is crowded, not properly ventilated, then the chance of spreading tuberculosis around is very high. So, these are some of the people that are at risk of tuberculosis. But tuberculosis is a respecter of nobody. Anybody can be infected, and then we should not assume that because this person is affluent that he cannot pick tuberculosis. We have to actually, be on the watch out.
So how contagious is tuberculosis?
Yes, tuberculosis is contagious because a person with positive bacteria shedding the bacteria from the sputum or from the respiratory system can infect between 5 to 20 people.
That's huge.
In a short period of time. So you know what it means that big 100 tuberculosis, that you are missing at least 100 times 20. That's about 2,000 cases. So it's quite contagious, and then it's worse if there's overcrowding. It's worse with there's malnutrition. It's worse if people are not eating properly, and then they have diabetes, they have HIV, and then it's worse if people are not detecting it as appropriate as when necessary.
Well, let's look at the prevalence of tuberculosis in Nigeria. You already mentioned the fact that over 200,000 people die from this disease every year. And of course, that is also shown in the statistics that Nigeria comes third behind India and China in terms of tuberculosis cases. But about 590,000 new cases occur. Around 140,000 are also HIV positive. That's out of this 590,000. But looking at all of this, what can we do? What can be done to stem the tide of this disease?
The thing to do in the case of the high burden of tuberculosis in Nigeria is to sharpen detection. I mean, because the most important is to find a way to improve the active case finding. There are cases that are active, we have to find them. And then the way we find them, we have to involve everybody. The primary health services, the private hospitals, everybody must be involved in the active case finding. Now, what we need to also do is to improve on our microscopy center that can help to detect more tuberculosis. I think since about 10 years, we're able to improve the laboratory services from about 3,900 to more than 2,000 now, which is nice. Then that's the testing. We've gone a bit off. We've got 32 machines now all over Nigeria to pick tuberculosis. Now, the question is actually how far are we educating? We need to educate the people. Once you cough and your cough is lasting more than 2 weeks, you need to check to a gene expert or do a microscopy. Then once you find that you are sweating a lot at night, you are losing weight unexpectedly, you have to actually find a way to check whether you have tuberculosis. The symptomatology are very clear. The thing is that it's access to those care, ability to pick the specimen, check people, and then receive treatment as appropriate as possible. And in this regard, it's very important for us to look for cases of multi-drug resistant tuberculosis, which is even worse than whatever disease we can think of.
So what would you say is the level of awareness currently in Nigeria?
Well, the level of awareness depends on the part of Nigeria you are talking to. Some people they are aware, but Nigeria's system is driven mainly by superstition and magical thinking.
Sadly.
This is not my portion, and then they have witchcraft to blame for anything that happens. I think when you see a lot of these things, and in that of our healthcare system, we're not communicating enough. Honestly, we're not. We should be able to mainstream our communication to the churches, to the mosques, to the religious centers, to every function, to schools, so that we need to form TV club in schools to educate people. We need to also form it to our religious houses to educate people. And then we shouldn't leave TB communication to March 24 when you have the World TB Day. It should be an ongoing
Enlightenment.
To raise the awareness.
So in wrapping up, this year's theme is Invest to NTB, Save Lives. How do we achieve this?
Yes, we achieve the ending of TB through some critical strategies. One, we need to increase the funding. There's a huge financial gap, because TB itself costs the world about $13 billion annually. So we need to actually, find a way to seek funding. Yes, the funding gap. What we'll be able to achieve is about 63%, 65% from the partner, 5% from the government. We still have about 35 or so percentage unaccounted for in terms of funding. We need to do the funding. Secondly, we must make sure that we can do detection easily and promptly now by improving the education. We have to put assessment, do our tests, and then access to drugs. Because there are constraining factors that can prevent you from accessing drugs. We need to address those things and incentivize completion of treatment. So these are very key.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much for the enlightenment, Dr. Tuyemi Bawodu, public health practitioner. Thank you for your time on the news this afternoon.
Thank you for having me.
All right, the Lagos State Sector Command of the Federal Road Safety Corps, Corps Marshal Olusegun Ogungbemide, has called on intending drivers to go through the right process to get their driver's license in order to avoid sanctions from the Corps. The Corps Marshal told iBrandTV news crew that the agency will continue to clamp down on those using fake driver's licenses in the country.
Marshal Olusegun Ogungbemide, while calling on intending motorists to get the right driver's license by going through an accredited driving school, said it will not only decongest the roads but help in reducing carnages on the roads.
The Corps has tried tremendously in taking us to an enviable level in the committee of countries that produces or that operates with driver's license. Before now, we have fake driver's license all over the places. You have, if you look at the progression from where we started with pamphlets, with passports, people just be handy with your passport and you call somebody, I need a driver's license. The following day you have it on your table. And it doesn't really matter whether the person knows how to drive, whether it's even a blind person or is physically challenged. There was no provision to get all those things proved before driver's licenses are issued, and we're almost making caricature.
Corps Marshal Olusegun said the Corps is enforcing the implementation of the use of driver's license by motorists in the state to save more lives.
I'm glad to tell you that the integrity of our driver's license has accorded us the respect of some nations who now accept our driver's license as a document to be used in driving in their own countries. And I think this one is a big one for us. And even that, they've been using the driver's license as a confirmation of integrity for our people that have been traveling out of the country. The only thing that is required, because no matter how perfect you feel you are, you'll still see some people that want to truncate this effort. So the only thing we plead with members of the society, especially those that are outside the country, who are lying with integrity over there, but coming back home, they want to throw everything to the dustbin because they believe we can cut corners in Nigeria. Things have changed here, and we are getting it better here. So we need their cooperation to make sure that the system runs.
The sector commander also used the opportunity to rate the Nigerian driver's license high amongst Committee of Nations. Ibuja reporting for iBrandTV News.
Similarly, the Federal Road Safety Corps Lagos Sector Command has reiterated that its mandate is to reduce fatal road accidents by 15%. Sector Commander, Lagos State Corps Commander Olusegun Ogungbemide said this during an exclusive interview with iBrandTV in Lagos State. Abuja Korea has details.
Forward, please, push, forward, abort, turn, freeze, left, right.
The Sector Commander Federal Safety Corps Lagos State Command Olusegun Ogunbimide said the corps will keep helping Nigerians to stay alive because many of those who have died in accidents are in their prime and are supposed to be useful to the country. He said one of the strategic goals of the organization is to ensure the reduction of fatal accidents on the roads by 15%.
Our strategic goal, number one for this year, is to reduce fatal road traffic crashes by 15%, not road traffic crashes. There's difference between road traffic crashes and fatal road traffic crashes. Fatal road traffic crashes are crashes that are fatal, that involve life, while we have the general road traffic crashes that has to do with fatal, serious, and minor. So our focus this year is to reduce the fatal one by 15% so that we record less death.
The Corps commander said the organization has put in place strategies to monitor motorists in the state and to control overloading of articulated vehicles.
So many policies that we put in place. We have our safe to load. Safe to load concept is to prevent a situation where we continue to pursue vehicles on the highway, especially the articulated vehicles. You know, the articulated vehicles have done so much damage or blow to transportation system in Nigeria when it comes to safety on our roads. So what we'll do is that rather than running after a loaded tanker on the highway, we go and meet them at their source. We insist that until they meet up with the minimum safety standard, such vehicles should not be loaded. It's a big way, it's a great achievement we have made in the last few years that has reduced the rate of devastating crashes involving articulated vehicles and tankers on our highway.
The sector commander stressed that they will continue to enforce the use of speed limits device in commercial vehicles to reduce road crashes. IbrandTV reporting for iBrandTV News.
Swift Dry Cleaners Limited, professional dry cleaners, best in dry cleaning and laundry services that meets the needs of our consumers. Yeah, Swift Dry Cleaners Limited. Swift Dry Cleaners Limited. Swift Dry Cleaners Limited. Yeah. Swift Dry Cleaners Limited. Yeah. For clean wash and quick delivery, yeah. Swift Dry Cleaners Limited. Swift Dry Cleaners Limited. Swift Dry Cleaners Limited. For clean wash and quick delivery. Ooh.
Swift Dry Cleaners. Clean wash, quick delivery.
The Inspector General of Police, IG Usman Alkali Baba, has declared war against economic saboteurs across the nation. Specifically, the IG restated the commitment of the Nigerian police force to maintain a sustained fight against illegal bunkering, pipeline vandalism, and other criminal elements in the country. Baba made the declaration yesterday during the parade of suspects in Port Harcourt, Rivers State. Represented by the acting Force Public Relations Officer, Olumuyiwa Adejobi, the IG revealed that the Inspector General of Police Special Task Force on Petroleum Illegal Bunkering arrested 42 suspects, impounded 41 trucks, illegal petroleum products. The IG equally charged officers and men of the force to be committed, patriotic, and focused on their statutory duties of preventing crimes and protection of lives and property in line with extant laws of the land. The Economic and Financial Crimes Commission, EFCC, has released the immediate past governor of Anambra State, Willie Obiano, and on administrative bail. EFCC spokesperson Wilson Owojaren confirmed this on Thursday. He said the former governor was released on Wednesday and that his passport is still being held by the anti-graft agency as part of bail conditions. The EFCC chairman, Abdulrasheed Bawa, explained that Obiano was still in custody because he has yet to meet his bail conditions. Bawa also stressed that Obiano's arrest by the EFCC was not politically motivated. Obiano was arrested last week at the Murtala Mohammed International Airport in Lagos, hours after handing over to Governor Charles Soludo. We'll take a commercial break now. When we come back, it will be time for more stories. Please stay with us. And on the African scene, the death toll from Wednesday's attack in central Somalia, in which a parliamentary election candidate was killed, has risen to 15, state-run television said. Witnesses said Amina Mohammed, a vocal critic of the government, was killed by a suicide bomber in the city of Beledweyne, around 300 kilometers north of Mogadishu. No one claimed responsibility for the attack. Somalia is conducting parliamentary elections in an indirect process that involves clan elders picking the 275 members of the lower house, who then choose a new president on a date yet to be fixed. In a statement late on Wednesday, Prime Minister Mohamed Hussein Roble said Wednesday's killings were aimed at disrupting the elections. And on the foreign scene, North Korea has fired what is believed to be its first intercontinental ballistic missile in more than 4 years as Western leaders gather in Brussels for a security summit. According to Japan's defense ministry, the suspected ICBM flew to an altitude of 6,000 kilometers and to a distance of 1,080 kilometers with a flight time of 71 minutes before splashing down in waters off Japan's western coast on Thursday. The United States joined allies South Korea and Japan in strongly condemning the launch. In a statement, the White House said the move needlessly raises tensions and risks destabilizing the security situation in the region. And Western leaders meeting in Brussels on Thursday will agree to strengthen their forces in Eastern Europe and increase military aid to Ukraine as a Russian assault on its neighbor entered its second month. Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky urged them to go further and repeat his call for a no-fly zone over the country, where thousands of people have been killed, millions become refugees, and cities pulverized since Russian President Vladimir Putin unleashed his invasion on February 24. In Mariupol, the southern port city that has come to symbolize Ukraine's plight, People were burying their dead and queuing for relations to rations and pauses in the bombing. Well, with that, it's a wrap on the News Now segment of Business Now. It's now back to Frank. My name is Omobolanle Adeshi.
Most people don't understand the magic of a perfect skin, the allure of a well-pampered skin. We bounce from skincare products to skincare products, from spa to spa. Looking for that ideal solution. I found the solution. And it's Blemiviv Skincare and Spa. My name is Neil, and I'm proud to be a part of the Blemiviv family.
Thank you there, Omobolanle. And up next is sport business.
On sports business at this hour, UEFA plans to rewrite existing financial fair play rules for clubs that have been in place during the last decade. European football's governing body spent more than a year crafting the new regulations with a representative group for elite clubs. Talks accelerated after teams saw $7.7 billion collectively removed from their balance sheets during the pandemic. UEFA's proposed regulations continue its efforts to promote fair competition in European football. Spending on operations will no longer be allowed to exceed 70% of a club's income, while clubs have a 3-year grace period before having to implement the new rules. The regulations are not expected to include a hard salary cap. UEFA's executive members are scheduled to vote on the new regulations on the 7th of April. UEFA's existing regulations have been met with criticism from fans and clubs for their inability to alleviate financial inequality in European football. The criticism intensified in 2020 after UEFA overturned Manchester City's 2-year ban from the Champions League for breaching the financial fair play rules. And still talking football, football's governing body, FIFA, has named Crypto.com as the exclusive cryptocurrency trading platform of this year's World Cup in Qatar. As an official sponsor of the 32-team tournament, the Singapore-based company joins Budweiser, Hisense, McDonald's, Megnew Dairy, and Vivo in the tier below FIFA partners. Those top-tier sponsors include Adidas, Coca-Cola, and Visa. The financial terms of FIFA's deal with Crypto.com, which marks the governing body's first move in the cryptocurrency space, have not been reported. Crypto.com will benefit from brand exposure both inside and outside tournament stadiums in Qatar, and also plans to activate its partnership by creating opportunities for users to attend matches or win exclusive merchandise. The deal continues Crypto.com's aggressive expansion into sports sponsorship. At the end of last year, it agreed a 20-year deal worth a reported $700 million for the naming rights to the home venue of the Los Angeles Lakers, Sparks, and Kings. And finally, on sports business at this hour, in just the first week of March Madness, brands have already received millions of dollars worth of exposure, and that's not including commercials. Between the men's and women's tournaments, companies received more than $165 million worth of equivalent media value, according to a study by Elevate Sports Ventures and Hive. NCAA official corporate partners and team apparel brands received the lion's share of exposure, with Nike earning more than other apparel brands, outfitting 69 of 134 teams. One of the most valuable placements, according to the study, was the basket stanchion arm, Spalding, which had a sports daring in both tournaments, earning more exposure time than any other brand. And that's it on sports business. I'm Samson Oluide.
Thank you, Samson. And that will be all for now on our news package. Many thanks for watching. I am Frank Omalape. I'll see you again.